Everyone, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel.
It's stories of
I'm V, of
my
course.
fault.
Thanks for tuning back in. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that tune back in. But yeah, let's get back into it. So, my next chapter, actually, my next stage to my life is my childhood. First and foremost, it wasn't really perfect as everyone else's or great as everyone else's. My childhood consisted of me literally growing up and maturing at a really young age at like 7. Yeah, literally at 7 years old. The way I was brought up, so I have 5 brothers and 1 sister. My oldest sister, she's the oldest out of all of us. Her name is Joni. Of course you guys know Joni though, because I talked about her in my video. There we go, last video. I talked about her in my last video. But yeah, my sister. Then you got the rest of my 5 brothers. So starting with the second oldest is my brother Chris. The third and fourth oldest would be my 2 twin brothers. No, that does not make me a twin. My 2 twin brothers are Peter and Paul. Then you have my second to last oldest brother, which is Matthew, and then the youngest brother, which is Josh. My great grandmother, she raised me, my oldest sister, Chris, and my 2 twin brothers, Peter and Paul. And my great grandma raised us, and her daughter, which is my grandmother, she raised my other 2 brothers, Matthew and Josh. So I'm sorry if I keep looking down. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. Decided to like jot it down. So bear with me. Like, I'm still getting adjusted to the whole YouTubing channel and whatnot. But my great grandmother had me going grocery shopping for her at the age of 7. So I would be going down to Save a Lot, Family Dollar, what else was there? I would be going to the bank for her, Bank of America. Mind you, these places are like in my area, but it's literally like a 20-25 minute walk for me. So at the age of 7, I was walking to those places. She also had me going to, there's one other place she had me going to. I forgot what it was. If I'm not mistaken, I said Save a Lot already and all those other places. I think that's it. She also had us going to church on Sundays. I hated being in a dress. Mind you, I was a tomboy at 7, so I hated her putting on dresses for me. I hated the stockings. I hated the church shoes. Hated the freaking bow. I hated all of it. Hated all of it. She wouldn't really let me go outside. As for my other siblings, she'll let them go places with people that she've known for years, or like friends that she knows because she grew up with or either met along the line. So my older brothers and sisters would either be going to like special events with either them or their teachers, or summer camp, what do you call them, summer camp advisors, or I don't fucking know what you call them, but dumb people, team leaders, there we go, whatever. But yeah, so she would let them go with them, and me on the other end, I wasn't allowed out the house a lot. And no, it wasn't because I was a bad kid. I was actually a good kid. I always had my head in the books. I was reading Harry Potter books. Literally if you were born in the 90s, you know how them Harry Potter books was looking, mighty thick and big. So I would be reading the Harry Potter books, or I would be reading these Disney books that I would be getting sent to my house every month, along with Barbie books that I would be getting sent to my house every month. I actually did that subscription myself. My grandma ain't know about it till after, so, but she still let me keep them, so it was great. But yeah, so I was either reading books or I was playing with my Game Boy Advance that she had bought me, or I was playing with my Barbie dolls, or I'd be drawing cartoons. I've not drawn crossword puzzles. Like, my mind was just going, basically, and she had me doing all those things. So that was the good life of being brought up. I barely really knew anybody on my street, and I was always inside most of the time, keeping my head in these books or whatever my grandma wanted me to do. I was always in the kitchen with her a lot, cooking, helping her cook. End up baking cakes for her. Starting with schools now. The first elementary school I went to was MD Fox. My elementary friends that I can remember so far that I made at MD Fox was my friend named Larry, my friend Ray Ray, but his actual name was Raymond, Kristen, Ashley, Hector, Eric, Montrell. I don't know if that was his actual name, but I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. This Russian girl named Mubera, another girl named Madeline. She wasn't really a friend, she was more of a bully, along with her other friend Stephanie. And my friend slash best friend at the time, Shaquille, but we called him Shaq for short. My clique in elementary school actually consisted of Shaquille, a little bit of Mubera, but not really. Larry and Ray Ray and Christian, of course. I don't know, for some reason I liked hanging out with them because they always kept me cracking up. Like, they kept me laughing. We was always getting in trouble with the teacher. The teacher I had at the time, if I'm not mistaken, was Miss Maloney or Miss Mahoney. Miss Maloney. That was her name. So I had that teacher at the time. She was known for keeping back my siblings. The only person she allowed to pass on to the next grade was my oldest sister. After my oldest sister, it was like the rest of us came and she held all of us back, because we all talked about this at one point, which was crazy. Moving on. So after that, the house that I lived in, well, my great grandmother's house, ended up catching on fire. So that ended up on the news. Then we ended up in a hotel for about a week or two. It was sad because, like, I couldn't really go to school. All my clothes were burned up and whatnot, and all my property, it was just terrible. Like, that was the most devastating thing. And throughout that devastating thing, my I don't know if it was my grandma that stopped by MD Fox or my sister, but they came back with like a pouch actually, with my classmates' note cards in there saying sorry, they hope I feel better or hope I come back. It really put a smile on my face, because that was the first time ever where I experienced that type of tragedy, and somehow, some way, I still got some happiness through it. So after our house being caught on fire, I switched elementary schools, so I wasn't at MD Fox anymore. I ended up going to Whitening Lane in West Hartford, that was hell for me, because I was basically, the name itself literally is exactly what you would think the school is full of. White kids. No offense. Caucasian kids. But yes, so it was nothing but Caucasian kids, a little bit of Chinese kids and Asian kids as well. I swear, I kid you not, I did not see not one black person. Like, the only black person there was, if not me, then this other little black kid that I seen that was in a whole different class. but we all came to one class that we had together, which was like a reading class or some type of class. It was, I forgot what it was, but he was the only black kid that I seen. So I already knew right then and there. I don't know what the hell type of school I got into. So after Whitening Lane, because that was only for like a short period of time. So after Whitening Lane, and the only two friends I made in Whitening Lane was this Asian boy named Connor and this other Spanish boy named Juan, who I don't know. Moving on from that, I'm sorry, I'm trying to like skim and scam, trying to think like if there was anything significant that happened during these events. I can't think of any. Besides the house catching on fire and switching schools. So after Whitening Lane, I switched schools again, and I ended up going to Maria Sanchez. Maria Sanchez was for another short period of time until I was able to move on to middle school. So the friends I made at Maria Sanchez was Steven, because he ended up becoming my next door neighbor, literally in front of my house, like across the street in front of my house. So he ended up becoming my next door neighbor. We ended up getting close to each other. At that time, I was playing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Autumn Nerd shows. I'm a nerd myself, so Autumn Nerd shows, that's what me and him would talk about nonstop, like Pokemon, this, that, and third. So it was Steven I met, then it was Amaria, then it came Chelsea, then it came Marisol, Brenda, Kayleen, Cecilia, Jose, Josue, Kristen again, who else? Ryan, Julia. Yeah, so Ryan, Julia, and Jessica. Julia and Jessica were sisters. I was more so a little bit closer to Jessica than Julia. Julia, I feel like, since she knew she was light skinned, like, she felt like she was the shit, basically. Crystal Lee and Maurice. So, who do I go to? Amaria, I forgot how we met, but we ended up, I thought we were being good friends and whatnot, but my friend Steven made me realize that there's a difference between being a friend and someone being bossy towards you, so our friendship ended. Chelsea was a little bit, weird in a way, but it's a good weird. I liked her because she was always speaking her mind, even though she was quiet, just like me. Marisol, I adored Marisol so fucking much. Like, me and her just became friends. We just clicked just like that. She invited me to her Sweet 16 one time. I remember that shit was so lit for her Sweet 16, and other things that happened there as well, but that's a different story. Who else? Brenda reminds me of a little gangster. That's what she reminds me of, like little thug. Like, even though she's a female and whatnot, she's still like the thugging type, and I like that about her because it suited her. Kayleen, oh my gosh, this was the only girl who I could not keep my eyes off of because how pretty she was. Listen, I don't know if she does modeling now or not, but anything she wore, she perfect that shit to a T. Like, I swear to God, and I fucking adored her for that. Excuse my language, but I adored her for it. Her favorite shit was Hello Kitty. When I tell you she'll come in Hello Kitty from head to toe, and it'll match. Give that girl her fashion credit right now, literally. But after her, Cecilia. I love Cecilia, but I felt like she was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, she was shy, but in a way would tell you how it is if it ever came to that. and I like that about her as well. Jose was, I'm trying to think, because there was Jose and Josue. So if I'm not mistaken, Josue was my double dutch teammate. Literally, he would always play double dutch with me and other people as well. So I love that man for it. He never failed when it came to bringing his fucking double dutch cables. Yo, never failed. I love that man to this day. I wonder what he's up to now. But then you got Jose. Jose ended up becoming my not my best friend, but like my guy friend. I love that man too. He ended up going to high school with me, and we did track together as well. So he definitely became my guy best friend. Well, guy friend, not best friend. My guy friend. Then there was Kristen again. Kristen, I've known Kristen since MD Fox, basically. Ryan used to be my competitor. Ryan was definitely my competitor. Like, me and him will always compete towards every single thing. Like, whether it was racing each other or, God, I don't know what. Krista Lee was, if I'm not mistaken, she was a stud. But I'll tell you one thing, she was fine as fuck for a stud. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, she was pretty for a stud, but she ain't like the compliments and shit. she's like a little tomboy. So last but not least, Maurice now was definitely my crush. When I tell you that man was fine and fucking chocolatey, excuse my language, but effing chocolatey, like a whole Hershey chocolate bar like that. Ain't make no sense how fine he was. And then his little smile he had. Oh, yes, that was it. I just took it. That was it for me. Other than that, that was basically my childhood for Maria Sanchez. Right, yeah, for Maria Sanchez, there was a lot of things that I went through from my elementary years. So it didn't really take a lot on me. I just was so confused at a young age and wasn't really able to fully understand what was going on. So that's another setback. But overall, like, I thank my great grandma for my childhood, for me not going outside a lot and whatnot. Another reason why she also didn't want me to go outside a lot was because my actual mother used to run the streets a lot, so she basically chose the streets over her kids, and my great grandmother didn't want that for us. So that is basically my childhood. If you want to know more, just write something down in the comments, or you can message me, email me, inbox me, social media, whatever makes you feel better. Seriously, but whatever makes you feel more comfortable and whatnot. But my next chapter, I gotta stop calling these junks chapters, but my next stage will be the second part to my childhood. Basically, in a way, it is the second part to my childhood because it's basically my teenage years. So I still, like, the first stages, you got being a little kid. Those are the first stages from, I want to say, from the year like 5 up to 10, 11. I feel like that's childhood years right there. And then from 12 to 18, 19, that's the second part of childhood years, which is your teenager years. So that's my next stage for my video, will be my teenage years. I'm looking forward to talking about that because there's definitely a lot of interesting things going on with that. Well, actually, it's not even teenage years, it's my preteen years, or off rip, like my preteen years, then I got my teenager years. So My next stage is actually my preteen years. There's a lot of juicy story from my preteen years. But other than that, definitely will be rewriting down my social media sites as well for you guys to follow them as well, or message me through them, whatever's your choice, my friend. Whatever's your choice. But yes, hit like, subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with some more juicy, good details and stories for you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for, once again, watching my YouTube and hopefully enjoying listening to my stories as well. But I will talk to you guys soon, and I'll see you guys during the page to my video. Peace out, guys. Bye, guys.